Right, okay guys, so I wanted to do this video because whether you agree or not, it is a fact. Cinema is dying right now. And I was thinking the other day, like, what are the reasons behind this? And I thought, you know what? I think there's more than one. And I thought, why not do a video and just go through some of my thoughts here? Now, don't get me wrong, like, you might disagree, and if you do, let me know in the comments below. But also, you might think of things that I haven't thought of as well, so maybe let me know them as well. But anyway, so I thought I'd kick this off. The number one problem with cinema and why it might be dying, I think, is cost. I mean, if you look at it, right, if you used to buy your tickets, popcorn, drinks, maybe a bag of sweets, whatever. I know someone recently that took his two kids and his missus to go and watch a film, and it cost him £100. £100. And that's including the food, believe it or not. Like, I mean, there are cinemas, some cinemas that would charge even more than that. So it's a lot of money. I mean, luckily for me, my local one's not too expensive. But if I bought the popcorn and the drinks in there, it would easily be 25 quid a head, easy. So I think one problem is definitely the cost. It's very expensive these days. And of course, we are in a current living crisis. So as a result, people can't afford to pay this sort of money, you know, and so cinema is suffering. Right, and then we got number two. It comes onto streaming quite quickly. In fact, at times, it comes onto streaming at the same time it's on the cinema. I know for a fact recently, and I forget which film it was, I think it might have been Rebel Moon, it was aired on cinemas at the same time it was released on Netflix. Why are you going to go and pay to go to the cinema when you're already paying for Netflix and you could sit at home and watch it? Why go to all the grief of going to a cinema to do that and paying extra? You know, it's just a no-brainer. And even if it's not on there at the same time, you know, a lot of people have the attitude these days of, oh, I'll just wait until it's on streaming. It won't be long. You know, it's not like it was back in the day, like when you had VHS, for example. I mean, I remember it was a good 5 or so years before you got it on VHS tape so you could watch it at home. So the only way you could watch it was when the cinema played it. You know, and then eventually, you know, as time went on, it got a little bit quicker, but even still, you know, when a film come out, for example, Phantom Menace, you didn't get it until 4, maybe 5 months later on physical release. So even then at its quickest, it took a while. These days, you know, with streaming, it can be on streaming within a month. Not always, but at times it can be. So again, why are you going to go pay 25 quid a head at the cinema when you can just wait a month and watch it on streaming? Number three, TVs and sound systems are a lot better than they was. Yeah, they are. I mean, these days you can get massive screens. You can even get projectors in your house now, like massive, great projector screens. And it can kick out this enormous quality, like as good as the cinema. And then you've got the surround sound systems and the, you know, the subwoofers and the sound bars. You know, you can literally have your own cinema these days. I mean, there are people that actually do out rooms in their houses as miniature cinemas. So again, you know, why pay 25 quid a head or up at the cinema when you could just, and admittedly, it wouldn't be cheap, but you could just kit out your own area and do this at home. And let's be honest, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm quite happy to sit here and watch a film on my 43-inch 4K TV. I don't necessarily have to go to the cinema. Now, I am a little bit different. I go to the cinema for the experience. It's not because it's better or it sounds better or any of that sort of stuff. It's just purely for the cinema experience because, you know, I grew up and that was my thing, you know. So, but don't get me wrong, I can see why people would think, do you know what, I could just sit and watch this at home. You know, it makes perfect sense. Number five, my sofa is more comfortable. Now, this one I can definitely agree with. So, anyone who's watched the channel long enough would know that last year I had quite a nasty injury. It ended up that I really couldn't go to the cinema because I wouldn't have been able to sit in them seats for 20 minutes, let alone 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours. Wouldn't have been able to do it. However, I sat at home on the sofa watching plenty of films in great comfort. And of course, this is another thing, isn't it? Let's be honest, when you're at home, you can sit there on your sofa, you can put your feet up, you know, You can get up and use the loo and pause the film as you need to. You know, so your sofa's perfect. And it's always going to be more comfortable than a cinema chair. So another good reason right now. Next point. No annoying people. Yes. Now, this is a biggie. Last time me and my boys went to watch a film, a family came in, woman with a teenage daughter and a young child. Now, you're probably thinking at the start of this story that the young child's going to be the problem. Well, I can tell you no. It was the mother and the teenage daughter in and out of the cinema constantly on their phones. So not only was you seeing the screen light up in the middle of a very dark room watching a film, and then they're walking past you holding the screen lit up, but they're in and out of the door, which was right at the side of me and my two boys. So all we could see out the corner of our eye was all the daylight rushing in every time they come through this door. And it was 7, 8, maybe even 10 times each. Not between them, each. And then when they weren't doing that, the daughter for some reason kept sitting in the aisle and rustling around and just playing up. Yes, people are annoying. When you're at home, you don't have this problem. And unfortunately, there are more annoying people in the world than there ever was, I think, these days. People that just don't know how to conduct themselves in public. So yeah, another reason why people might want to sit home and watch a film, because at least then you can concentrate and hear and see it, and you don't have any annoying people around you. So I get that too. That could be a very good reason. Right, the next one, and I'm not going to curb what I wrote here. Modern films are crap. Yeah, they are. You've heard me talk about it many times, and I'm not going to say all, because there is the odd glimmer of hope every now and again, but a good majority of them are absolute garbage. Modern Marvel offerings, up until recently the DC offerings, and anything really that comes out of Disney that's Star Wars related, whatever, is a load of crap. Why would you go and pay 25 quid a head to watch a film which, quite frankly, is going to preach to you, tell you how much of an awful person you are, and then afterwards, when you decide you don't like that film, and then going to call you various slurs? So, yes, that's the reason why people don't pay to go to the cinema, me included. Unless I have a pretty good understanding that the film's going to be good and not pumped full of DEI woke messaging, I won't bother going and watch it, unless I know that it's good and it's got none of that. So, here's a good reason. The quality of films has slipped substantially. And so as a result, why would somebody pay their hard-earned money to go and watch something that, quite frankly, is a load of crap? And I would totally understand, because I have actually been that person who's refused to go and pay to watch these films, knowing full well it's going to be the biggest pile of shit you've ever watched. So there's one reason there. Right, so here's my last point, and probably one of the most important on this list when it comes to why cinema's dying. And that is that cinema's not seen the way it was when I was a kid. When I was a kid, you saw cinema as a treat, an experience, something that didn't happen very often. And so as a result, it was treated like that. You know, I mean, I remember I watched E.T., quickly followed probably by Star Wars and an Empire Strikes Back double bill. And then I don't think we went to the cinema until Return of the Jedi came out, which was a couple of years later. So it was seen as, like, when you did go, it was like a magical thing. You know, it was something you didn't experience every week or every month. You went and it was a treat. You know, it was almost as big as if you went to, say, an amusement park. Like, you know, if you went to Chessington, it was just as, like, important as that. You know, it was an experience. And I think now it's not seen that way. In fact, I know it's not really seen that way, because even I don't see it that way so much now. You know, we've got so much access to this stuff now that the magic of it's gone. And actually, that's the word to use here, magic. That's the point. You know, when I went as a kid, going to the cinema was magical. The films were magical. The experience was magical. The place was even magical. You know, when you went, you had these massive screens and these curtains and these huge sound systems. And at the time, you couldn't get any of this stuff at home, you know. So when you went, it was a magical experience from all different directions and every avenue in there. That's lost now. And so as a result, it's not seen the way it was when I was a kid. You know, people don't see it as an experience now. They probably just see it as a room with a loud sound system and a big screen. And that's probably as far as it goes, you know. And like I say, some people have this stuff in their house and they don't even see it like that. So this is my point, like it's kind of lost its magic. So anyway, there's probably a lot more reasons that I haven't thought of here that you can probably think of, guys. So if you think of anything, put it in the comments down below. And if you think I'm wrong on any of this, please just tell me your views. Everyone's welcome to have a view here. And I always read your comments. So if you think I'm wrong on this, tell me how I'm wrong. Let's get a conversation going. Anyway, I'm going to end this video here. I hope you've enjoyed it, guys. And if you have, please consider giving us a like, share, subscribe. And until next time, take care, stay safe. Nerdy Geezer out.